It's your daily dose of Donna. Welcome to the show. It is Tuesday, December 9th. OMG. What a breaking news day. I can't even believe what just popped on this morning when I opened up my phone and saw that People News alert. Who knew? Who knew that Judge Lyman was going to wake up today on December 9th and choose violence by by postponing the trial, the Baldoni trial. Yes, I know it's the Blake Lively Baldoni trial, but I call it the Baldoni trial because he's the only one that matters in our eyes. How dare they? Welcome. It's your daily dose of Donna. We have a breaking news story and we're going to get into it. We're going to talk all about the pros and the cons of the con artists behind this trial being postponed. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does a double rainbow mean? Why? What will this do for the trial? What will this do for Justin Baldoni? What will this do for Blake Lively's case? What will this do for our sanity? Will we even be around to see the end of this journey? I don't know. The truth is I used to know and now I don't. March felt doable. May just doesn't. But we'll talk all about it. We have more news on the Love is Blind divorce that shocked so many people last week. Meghan Markle, the girl keeps markling her way to the most annoying person in the history of all celebrities. Guys, we're just going to have a fun day today. We're going to chat it up. We're just going to gossip today. Today's a day of gossip because it's not really a breaking news day other than that story. So I want today to be a day of I think we're just going to have a good time. I have a good feeling about today. We're going to get into weird things. That just sounds bad. We're just going to talk about really random things that I found online. Okay. So if you're ready to have fun, if you're ready to laugh, if you're ready to, enjoy the next hour of your life, you're in the right place. Everyone, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to hit that like and get ready to dance your way through the intro. It is your daily dose of Donna. Oh, Lordy. How is everyone doing? I was laughing so hard right before I started the live. I was a couple of minutes late because I was chatting with my group of content creators that cover the Baldoni case. And wow, you guys, it was, what do you mean earthquake in Japan? Out of nowhere? Like just now? The second? Or was there one a couple of days ago? I saw that there was one a couple of days ago. But we were laughing so hard just now. We were dying of laughter. Okay, so there's a couple of things you need to know about this group of content creators that we're friends with. I mean, I'm friends with content creators from different different I would say like the Justin Baldoni, Blake Lively is kind of the group of content creators that I talk to the most in terms of groups because that's just like what we talk about the most right now. But I also have groups of content creators that I talk about different things, et cetera. You know, you go through your stages, whatever. But this group is Elsie and Lauren Knighty and Zach and Andy. Andy's not so he pops in here and there, right? But this morning we were talking Elsie and Lauren and Zach, and the big thing is that Zach does not remember anyone's names. I don't know if you guys know this about Zach Peter. Zach Peter is officially horrendous at remembering anyone's name. He cannot remember anything about anyone. I'm surprised he even knows who I am, right? So I was giving him shit this morning because he couldn't remember a couple of the content creators' names, not us, of course, but he couldn't remember a few of the other people that have been covering the case, some attorneys. And we were laughing so hard, we were making fun of him. And then Elsie and Lauren and I and Zach, the four of us, we were talking about how we were going to kind of just make light of the fact that this thing got pushed. This ridiculous ruling that now we have 2 more months of this shit. 2 more months, okay? And we were saying that we were gonna do some sort of collaboration. We're gonna do some sort of creator collaboration before the end of this year. I don't know if it's gonna be some sort of live stage reading. I don't know if we're gonna do some sort of act. I don't know. We're gonna work something out for you guys. We're gonna have fun. We're gonna figure something out to make us laugh, because when you can't, instead of crying, why not just laugh about the ridiculousness of it? But let's get into the main story of what is going on here and why this whole entire thing got pushed. And honestly, it's not, a lot of people are like, I can't believe Blake Lively had nothing to do with this, believe it or not. Blake Lively, for the first time, had nothing to do with a court case and a court ruling. It's actually because of the judge. The judge had to push it. And this is confusing to me. So Blake Lively is not interested in settling. Okay. She's made it very clear she does not want to settle this case at all. And Justin Baldoni is being sued. So he can't settle. So it really comes down to Blake Lively. Justin Baldoni, of course, has to go through the trial if she wants to go through the trial. But the judge has postponed, and he's trying to urge the parties to come to a deal. So there was a discovery hearing this morning in New York City. I don't know if anyone else knew about that. I did not know about it, but I've told you a million times that I don't pay attention to the ins and outs every single second of every single day. Like, I can't. It's just too much for me. But there was a discovery hearing this morning, and he informed the attorneys for Lively and Baldoni that, as important as this case is, he has to postpone the March 9th civil trial date because criminal trials take precedent in the jam-packed court system. And listen, I mean, that makes sense to me. It does. It does. Criminal trials do take precedent. But here's what I'm a little confused on. Oh, look who's here. I have a little guest.
You said say hi, so I'm like, hi.
I'm so glad. And I was looking at an article on another screen, so I didn't even see you in the waiting room. I'm so glad you're here to say hi.
Yeah, I can't say anything, but I thought I'd just pop in and offer because you asked for help, people to come in, and I'm here. I'm like, hey, of course.
I'm so glad that you said hi, Andy. Andy, I haven't seen you. I mean, we were talking over on the text thread, obviously, but I haven't seen you one-on-one since everything's going down. What are your thoughts quickly about the postponement?
Yeah, I just dropped a video. I mean, honestly, it helps me.
I was about to say.
It helps me in a weird way because, and thank you for having me on. I hope you're well. I know you are.
Of course. Welcome. I want to hear a little bit about everything going on with you.
Yeah, no, not to because I want you to talk about what you're talking about, but it's connected in a weird way in that, look, there's been a lot of people who are just like, Andy missed this filing and Andy didn't do this. That's not correct. That's what's so frustrating. I've seen LawTubers I respect who have sort of jumped on and only read her conclusion, but they didn't read what we filed. They weren't there in the hearings. They don't know that we didn't miss anything. We handed her everything. In fact, we handed more than we were supposed to. And so,
that's what I was actually, because I watched Runkle of the Bailey Friday night, I think it was, and I haven't watched anyone else cover it other than him. I really like him. I watched him cover Karen Reed.
I messaged him before he posted the video. I gave him more intel before he posted that video, and he was supposed to add a thing at the end, which I think he said he would. He said he was going to do a follow-up given all the information I sent him, but I didn't get to watch it. It was like an hour and I'm obviously busy, but what was your takeaway from his video?
Well, he did say at the very beginning, he was like, look, I'm rooting for Andy. He wants you to win. It's not that he's against you. And he did say, like, I absolutely hope that Andy wins this. I want him to appeal this. Like, so it's not that he's against you, but I do think the overarching feeling from his video, and I'm not a legal person, so I don't understand all the ins and outs. He does, you do, etc. People that understand law, was this feeling that I think a lot of people are coming at this is that you have a lot of people are saying that your lawyers did something wrong, etc. That's like what a lot of people are saying. So why don't you correct?
Yeah. I mean, look, because let me be clear, it's not about me, and I appreciate Ian's. I like Ian a lot. I like all these people. What's frustrating me is just they're incorrect. They're incorrect in a lot of what they're reading from that ruling, just because there's more information to gather. And people I know, I would hope they'd ask me or check with me, like, what happened here? Did your lawyers suck? The answer is no, they don't suck. In fact, I just got off a call because we're trying to get amicus briefs with huge organizations to back us up, and a lot of them are having the same question, to be fair, that Ian and others have had, which is, well, were you late on your filings? Did you not do this? Did you not do that? And we're like, no, we did. Look. And then we're showing them, like, oh, wow, we had the case law we're supposed to have. Our judge ignored it all. And didn't have any of that mentioned in there. I just got off the phone. I don't want to say who yet, but stay tuned. I just got off the phone with a big free speech organization here in Florida specifically. And, they had some of those questions. And then as my lawyers were sort of educating them on it, my lawyers almost had more information than they did, like from how to handle it. So I feel very confident in my lawyers. They did not mess up. They do not suck. The only thing we missed the boat on, and we've all sort of said this, we should have been a little bit more keen on the scope at the beginning. That was one thing we did mess up on, is we said, no, we have no issue with the scope, because we knew there was nothing to give, right? But then and the reason why it's connected to today's story is I don't want this to be about me in the case. It's just, my case is important, guys. It is, for not just me, but for every journalist, digital and independent. It is. Please take it seriously. It's connected in the way because now Justin's team has to put stuff in camera. And I literally just did this, guys. And I will tell you,
what does that mean? Justin's team has to put stuff in camera.
Well, so Judge Lyman's literally one of the last verses on the docket talks about how, and I'm going to talk more about this on my live. Welcome to come join us then too, Donna, people. So I'll give you guys more specifics. I'm not prepped as much as I would be, so I might get a little bit more specific there, but to try to give you a little tease of it all. But basically today on the docket, it says that Judge Lyman's requesting certain evidence of Justin and Wayfair, not just Justin. I call Justin Wayfair, the Wayfair parties, to come in camera. Which, for those that don't know, in camera meaning the judge is only supposed to see that. And I want to see is this privilege? Is this relevant? Is this something that actually should be given to the lively party? Right? Is what in camera is for. And honestly, Don, I'll be honest, I was like, bring it on. When I went to my guess, like, bring on the on camera. When you see the in camera, you're going to see it's all news gathering. There's nothing retaliatory. There's no payments. There's nothing, and there aren't. But my judge took my in camera and revealed not only details about the length and but had no concept of the case and what she was reading actually meant. And so she just sort of assumed things, which she did the whole trial. If I'm being honest, I'm trying to be respectful as judge, but I'm very frustrated because today's ruling by Lyman also proves there was no rush to sort of push my information out. There is a ton of information that we still need to gather on her side as to whether they even need mine. And she ignored all of my rights, my journalistic privilege. She's supposed to protect me, and instead she sort of just steamrolled over me over some technicalities, if you will, that I think are completely unjust. So at the end of the day, yes, the Lyman is now facing something, or sorry, Justin's team is now facing something I had to face, which is handing over dirt. They're gonna, is what Blake Lively uses it as, right? But it's just, it's the private stuff, which isn't nefarious or salacious or malicious unless it's in the hands of Blake Lively, because then she will twist it and turn it into, well, look at this, guys, they're hiding a document. Hello, that's how all document sharing goes. That Jed Wallace audio is so frustrating as someone who understands technology. There was nothing malicious or nefarious there, but notice that's all they have. That's all the ex-patriarch and everybody uses as.
And they made it sound like this huge smear campaign. And
no,
it was
there's
totally
nothing.
just
There's no proof, Donna.
Yeah. Everything that you give them, they turn it into this like horrible thing, and it's nothing. But that's like the circumcision conversation.
Well, yeah, just to because your best friend just said in the chat, Liz, yes, you're spot on. In camera is supposed to be in private with the judge, and the judge is supposed to see that and go, okay, I can see this is news gathering, or oh, I know this isn't relevant. And sometimes it could be, but the problem with me, and people don't realize it, is because I guess I have to reveal this now because it's out there thanks to my judge. I didn't want to reveal that I was communicating with someone for 6 months. It's no one's damn business how I do my news gathering or who that is, and I'm never going to say who that is. But it's out that I was speaking to a source for 6 months. It was not in 2024, to be clear. The judge kind of makes it imply like it could, which is so shady. But that length isn't telling. It's not. When you have sources, you can take your source to a bar and get them out for drinks and get information. This is all proven in case law. Like, journalistic privilege does, extend past just, hey, don't say this. Like, if imagine you have the Epstein case, right? You're a whistleblower, and suddenly you're having a lot of communications with this person you've met, your source, but you're getting to know. and they're nervous. They don't want to tell you the information. Oh, so then finally, months in, you get some maybe more information, or you get a little bit more insight because they want to treat you like another outlet, right, or whatever. And so they do. All that conversation is protected. It was all a news gathering, and that's what the problem is. It doesn't mean there was a retaliation campaign. It doesn't mean there was malicious or nefarious purposes, right, Don? So that's what's so messed up about what this case is. There's two things. It implies my lawyers sucked, which they don't. And it implies slightly tries to imply this sort of malicious intent behind my news gathering, which there wasn't. I wouldn't have given it to the judges willingly if there was, Donna. You know, that's what's so
these conversations that you had with this this source, this named defendant in the case, or this unnamed defendant in the case that they have, right? Isn't that what it says? It's the
yes,
80 pages
I don't
or whatever
specifically, but yeah. At the end of the day, it did. And yes, I don't know what the exact wording is, but I have to be careful because it's like, look, there's some correspondence of mine. They're going to come out. Like, they're going to come out legally. And I'm okay with that. Like, I want it to come out legally. I am not going to give it up because I'm a journalist and I don't give up my sources. If a source comes to me and says, you know, quote this this comes from this person, or say that I can't say this, or this is in confidence, all of that's privilege.
Yeah.
And so all of that's a source. And unless someone says, quote me, I can't publish that. You know what I mean? And so that's what's so frustrating about the fact that that can sound nefarious in the hands of Blake Lively, right? Just like she's doing with everything, but it's not. And I wouldn't have handed everything up and been so transparent if I had something to hide. I did. I gave everything. And that's what's so frustrating. My judge keeps trying to claim, like, and I do think this is relevant, and what people, I have a firsthand look now at what Justin's team's really going through. I do. I'm not trying to compare it, but now I do. And I can't even imagine the stress level, because mine's like a here and they have thousands more levels to deal with than I had to deal with. But I just can't even imagine now how you have a judge misunderstand you and they could just completely F you. Completely F you because they have their own certain little bias that they're not supposed to have, but then they can, and then they can try to use their own case laws and definitions to get the verdict they want. And in this case, my judge admitted right away, and we're getting the transcripts, and when it's out, I will show it. She admitted day one, I'm not familiar with a lot of this. I got to be honest. Not only the case of Blake Lively, but also just like my type of case, the First Amendment stuff of journalism and all this stuff, not traditional in our court here in Florida and Tampa. It's not like Hollywood, right? So this was new to her. And I thought that was good. I'm like, all right, good. She's going to want to learn. And she didn't. There's so much stuff we handed in. There's a whole filing. There are filings we did. If people look at our docket, rather than just read her conclusion, you should be furious. We sent a whole bunch in, Donna, about like how unfair it was that Blake's case was sealed. So she's coming at me, and a third party journalist, which I'm supposed to be last on the list of who you come to if you need communication. You go to the people in question first, is how it's legally works. It doesn't matter what state you're in. That's pretty much standard. And so we challenged the judge on this. We filed, you'll see it on my docket. I forget which one it is, but it's in there. I want people to see it. I have it, I think, over here. In the docket, there's a filing near the end where we submitted on, just so I'm clear, here it is, on the 22nd, a judicial notice. We handed a bunch of exhibits from Lyman and stuff saying, Your Honor, we're at a disadvantage. This only helps her. We need these filings. Hello, we need to know what she has and from who, and was Andy Signore mentioned in any of the filings? Like, we need it all, Your Honor. She didn't even respond to our request. Like, she didn't respond to a docket request. Just boop, moved on. We'll have another hearing later. We'll go case point by point. Instead, we all thought we were going to get another hearing. Instead, I got that order on December 2nd out of nowhere. We were all sort of gobsmacked, like, what? There was so much more to go through.
When you went into the case, or when you went into the quash in Florida, did you think you were going to have a different experience?
Yeah, I mean, I went in confident because I know the truth. Like, I went in confident. I'm like, well, I got nothing to hide. There's nothing here. I'm worried. The only thing I wanted to protect was that I don't give up a source. It's not that I'm afraid to give up my source. It's not that I'm worried about what I said. It's about integrity, right? And if I give that up, I've got nothing. And Blake and Ryan knew that.
Yeah.
Blake and Ryan wanted to squeeze and push and get this ruling so they could be like, it's what they did. And they got it. And
why are they so intent on getting you? Is it the documentary?
I think it's the documentary. I do think it's because I worked with Ryan in the past. I've come to grips with that. I don't have a big head. I never considered myself in anybody's mind. I used to be that way, but I've matured in my life and realized nobody gives a shit about me. I don't. But in this instance, as my lawyers attested, they have it out for you because they were looking at a lot of stuff in the dockets and behind the scenes. And as I told him, well, he worked with me once. He's like, that's what's happening here. I genuinely think he just is so petty from other experiences and stories I've heard that he's like, I helped you, Andy, in Honest Trailers years back. And this is how you repay me? Suck it. Suck it. That coupled with the documentary, which clearly they're not fans of, coupled with my reporting, which is fair. I don't think they watch it. They just they see the headlines and the things, because if they watched it, especially early on, they would have seen I was being nice to Ryan. My audience was mad at me for how nice I was being Ryan because I had experience with him. And then as I learn more, my opinion can change because I can be like, oh, wow, I don't like this. He had my email. He could have reached out. But like, literally, that's what's so weird. Like, if he was so intent he could have called up and be like, hey, man, I know we haven't talked. I see you reporting this. If this was me and my wife was harassed and my wife was going through everything she did, you bet your ass I wouldn't have been able to not message that person and be like, you have it wrong. Like, let me educate you. Just like I was doing with all the lawyers that don't have it right. When you have the truth on your side, you scream it from the hilltops.
That's what I would do too. I would be like, no, you're getting the wrong story. Let me explain. It would make so much more sense to do that. So let me ask you a question, because last week I jumped on your live and you did kind of express a little frustration and disappointment with other people in this space that are sharing this kind of almost like a smear campaign against you. Taking a lot of negative information about you and going off.
You want me to go dramatic? Come on. You want me to say her name? I'm not saying her name.
No, I don't like that person. I don't like talking about her. But what I'm talking about is, do you find a little frustration that you are not getting as much support in this as you have been supporting others in their fight?
Well, and let me be
because you're the last one standing.
Well, let me publicly clear. I never was offended by you. Please be clear. I think Zach said a nice tweet, I know, which I didn't ask him to. Like, there in our community group and people, and there are people, I was not aiming at them.
Yeah.
I feel close enough to you guys that I'll come and like, hey, I need to come on a show. And you'll be like, of course. Like, I wasn't expecting anything from there. But yes, there are some other channels, bigger channels, ancillary channels, news organizations. I'm kind of surprised have not jumped on this. I'm not surprised the mainstream media is ignoring it because they hate us. We're competition to them. They don't want YouTube journalists to become a thing, even though we are. They're furious that we are. Like, TMZ is not going to report about this case. So I'm not expected by that, even though it's disappointing. But yeah, I'll be honest, I'm a little shocked. I think it's part to blame because of people like Ian, and I don't mean to call them out, but they're putting out this idea that I messed up. My lawyer sucked. And he didn't do enough due diligence or check in with me to know that that's not the case. And I'm hoping when the appeal's filed, when they see more of the information compiled together and they see what actually the judge did, I'm hoping that'll be the rally cry because we'll need it. I'm already here getting it from organizations, and that's honestly going to help me probably more just because the 11th Circuit's going to take that more seriously if I can come in not only with a well-written appeal, but amicus briefs from a lot of these organizations. It's going to speak volumes. So this battle, you're going to hear me see it a lot, and I may be back on your show if you'll allow me to get the word out, because this isn't about me. It's really not. Yes, I took a hit. Yes, this is not good for me to be labeled not a journalist in a declaration in Florida. It's not. Blake and Ryan won, but I'm not backing down. I'm not giving up. But more so, I'm like so heartbroken that my magistrate judge could have now messed it up for any other digital or independent journalist, especially here in Florida. Like, that cannot stand. And all it takes is one state to break, and then suddenly, oh crap, it can go. We all need to be loud about this. We all need to make a stink. We all need to spread the word, because it does matter. It's incredibly dangerous and chilling ruling, and we're seeing it more and more. And bringing it back to your topic so you guys can talk about it, because I do have to run in a minute. I'm worried for Justin. I am seeing what she's capable of, seeing how this goes and gets misunderstood. Seeing how Blake, and I not to give Blake and her team credit, they're very good at just stirring it up for distraction, deflection, and sort of confusion that always play in her favor. And so I'm worried for Justin in a way now where I don't think he's guilty of anything. I haven't seen anything yet, and I'll change my mind if that proves otherwise. But as of now, given what we've seen, there's nothing that makes me, feel he did anything wrong. But I can see the power he's up against, because money only gets you so far. Ryan and Blake don't just have money; they have money and power. Ryan Reynolds just sold Wrexham to another group and made more money for another organization. Like
he sold Wrexham.
A stake in Wrexham. Yes, he did. And now I just saw the headline last night. They are powerful. It's not just the money. They got WME and a lot of other celebrities, and no one wants to turn on them. It's not just money.
It's such a big machine.
It is such a big machine. People can't afford to go against them. I'm learning that why they won't join the doc and stuff. So it is truly scary what he's facing. And as someone who's now faced a little of it, just a little of it, and her wrath personally, no offense to everybody who had the YouTube subpoenas. I'll call out, there are some who are wearing that like a badge of honor, like as if I went through what Andy went through. No, you fucking didn't. I'm sorry, you didn't. No, you didn't. Anybody it was a pain in the ass, and everybody with respect, myself included, I had to deal with the YouTube subpoena. As someone who had to deal with both, that was nothing compared.
Well, the only
to
one
what
I
Perez
think that's
and I
gone
are
through,
facing. Nothing.
Perez is the only one, which I look, I'm not shy about saying this. I find it kind of odd that he hasn't publicly come out to support you.
Oh, I don't feel, he's a busy guy.
You don't have to say anything. Look, I find it.
He did get me in touch with the ACLU.
Okay, so that's good.
Just full disclosure, because I haven't really full exclusive for you. He did when I asked a while back. But I guess it's like the reason I'm not making it so vocal is like they're busy, and so it's like you can't. It's different states, different ACLUs. It's really hard to get through. But I'm in touch with them, and I am in touch with them. We're working with them. We're trying to figure it out. But they were not able to just take my case like him. Also because I have lawyers, right? ACLU represents a lot of people who don't have lawyers, so it's a little bit more complicated. It doesn't mean they don't support it. It doesn't mean they're not going to step in now or help later. We're working on things. But he did help in that regard, and I needed that. And
do you think that people? Oh, sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, but just I don't want to beef with Perez, is what I'm trying to say.
No, I know. Do you think that like people
support from Perez rallied? I think we have it. If I asked him or messaged him, I would hope and assume he would.
Do you think that people like rallied behind him because he was lawyerless, because he came in fighting for himself? So people felt that need, like the audience felt the need to rally behind him because he was like, I'm doing this alone.
Absolutely. He has as much resources as I have. He could have rallied the funds.
Of course, he could have hired an attorney.
He could have done it. And I think, I asked him that. He's like, my money towards my family shouldn't go there. And I disagreed in that, like, I agree with him only in that, but it's like, I refuse to, my time is also money. And so people don't realize that, oh, Andy's grifting, he's raising more money. People don't understand. I don't have the money to pay these lawyers and do all the work that Blake's requiring and still give the content and still be able to make time with my kids. I shouldn't, as Perez says, I shouldn't have to lose time with my kids because I got subpoenaed by Blake. I'm at a place in my channel, in my community, where I can ask for help when I really need it, and they generously do, and I'm grateful for it. I don't feel like that's a bad thing. Some people would say it is, some people don't. I've come to terms with people can choose to spend their money or they can't. No one's being forced to do it. But yeah, I'm grateful I had a community help me, because without them, I wouldn't have been able to do it. To be fully frank and transparent, like I had extra money. I invested it all in the documentary. I was like, I'm going to go big on this. Let's do it. All my own money. I didn't ask for money when we did the doc. I'm like, let's just do it. And now that money's gone. We had to fly around. We had to film Donna, all these people across states, and gather things and post-production to do a real production with cameras and editing. And even at the lower scale we were doing, it goes by fast. And now the problem is, not only are we not done it, but now it's like shifting and changing due to Blake subpoenaing and all this stuff. I want this chapter closed in a way before we finish, because it's going to change a lot of our other intros. Also, new documents are coming in now that I'm realizing, okay, well, actually, we might be beneficial pausing to make sure we are getting this new evidence in to really definitively, own it. So that costs money too. So it's costly to do what we're doing. And granted, that's on me because I put it out there, but if the audience is willing to support it, well, then great, we can keep doing it. If they aren't, it falls apart. And so with Perez, though, back to what you asked, yes, I think he's also more famous than me. He just is. Yeah. I'm not embarrassed.
No question. He's a mainstream pop culture.
Like, yeah, he gets bigger press. Yeah. When TMZ listed me and him, I didn't make the headline. He did. I'm not offended by that. I get why. So I think that's part of it. If you're asking why he's getting a little bit more attention, I don't see it that way. I just feel like he got the support, and thankfully, because of that attention, he got the ACLU. I think it was a fan of his, actually, who's what put him in touch. That, to me, as I've talked to him, that's what did it. He's only out of this because they teamed up. And Blake and to credit his judge, which Perez never did, and I even told Perez, be nice to your judge. The judge did put the burden on Blake, which is what my judge was supposed to do too, and she never did. She kept putting pressure on me instead of on Blake. Well, Blake, if you want, if what you've gotten isn't sufficient, okay, I gave her the option. Here's the invoice for a third party. Here's what it costs, $20,000. If she had done those moves, this would have gone away. But she didn't. She kept pressuring me. It almost felt like, and I'm not saying she's in cahoots with Blake, but it kind of felt like the pressure Blake's trying to put on me. So that's where I'm left with it. And that's why I think this is so imperative. People hopefully rally to help us, because it's bigger than me. It's totally bigger than me. And I'm worried for the other journalists in Florida. And then eventually elsewhere across the state, the country.
So ultimately, is it worth it? Was it all worth it?
Is what covering the case? Like, was
the
what
whole
what
thing with every, like, you're going through a lot of hell right now. You're like in the thick of a huge legal battle. It's expensive. It's stressful. Obviously, you don't know how it's going to end up. Like, it's going to cost a lot of money. If you're asking
if it's worth it, I would say,
like, was it all
no
worth
regrets.
it covering this case?
I have no regrets. I have no regrets. No regrets. Not with my lawyers, not with the case, not with my coverage, not with my sources. I don't feel I did anything wrong at any point. I feel like I've always been transparent and above board. I over-delivered to my judge. If I would have any regrets, it is what it is, but I think I'll pay off in the end. It's trusting my judge to be fair and impartial. If I have any regrets, it's assuming the most that she would have done that and not gotten so distracted by her own formatting issues of a privilege log that should not have denied privilege. It shouldn't have. She had it in her hands. And if she was confused or whatever, she should have asked more questions. She should have done more research on the broader case. And I'm frustrated. I put all of my source confidential information in her hands to just, this is Blake deserves this. Even though Blake's never been in my courtroom once, even though all of her stuff is sealed, Donna, like the judge has not read any of it. I'm going to side with this woman instead of this guy who did a sworn affidavit saying otherwise.
Yeah.
Still, all that said, I don't regret though, because I think this is now created an issue that needs to be called out. And if I have to do it, so be it. And thankfully with my audience, we've rallied, and hopefully people will continue. You can go to our popcornplanet.com and you'll find the link on the homepage, or go to the news feed. You'll see the press release. Even if you can't share money, you can share the press release. If there's another channel you want me on, I'm doing a tour. I'll go anywhere at this point. Please.
Well, why don't you connect with Ian, like someone like Ian Runkle of the Bailey, and see if you guys can have a live conversation?
Oh, he knows. He said he was going to do a follow-up piece. I gave him I gave him a lot of intel in private that he could use, and told him the where to look for it more specifically to confirm it. So yeah, happy to do that. Let him know if you're friendly. I like Ian. I'm not trying to beef with him or anybody. I don't want some of these DUI guys. Another one. I like Larry. I don't have an issue with Larry, but it's like he kind of quickly was like, yeah, he didn't file in time. Oh well.
You should talk to
Larry. It's more I'm not that dumb, Larry.
You know who I love is the lawyer. Do you know him?
Yeah. Peter. He's great. He's here in Florida.
I love Peter, and he was on my show.
Yes, I will. I can DM Peter. I
can connect you guys too if you don't know him
so well, but I will message Peter. But yeah, if you know Peter, and tell Peter, ping him as well. Hey, Peter, check out Andy's case. He could use support. Anybody
I will.
Anybody like that stuff helps right now, just because it gets me in other platforms with other potentials to hopefully maybe get us. Oh, I know a person at this agency, or I can do this. And that's the networking right now, especially right now in the next couple of weeks as we're preparing our appeal. It really will help a lot. So if you see me around or have me coming back, just please know. Omar, people are saying we love Omar. Yes, he's been helping Laura, Elsie. We have a lot of people behind the scenes, so I'm so grateful, have our support and are doing their best. But yeah, the more we can get out there, the better.
All right. Well, Joy says, how do I DM you? I have someone I might be able to hook you up with.
You can email us. Actually, well, please don't overdo it, guys. But because I'm trying to have the real organizations come in. But if you got something serious, I'll share the email here. Press@Popcorned Planet. Make sure it's popcorned. It's ED, even though this is backwards. People think it's popcorn.
No, it's not.
Planet.
It's not backwards.
It's like scorched earth. Popcorned Planet .com. So press@popcornplanet.com. And that email is now one we set up now it goes to me, myself, and Kim. That way, if I miss it, one of them can pick it up as well. And if it's important, it gets filtered through, and then we'll make sure we reply. And then Laura just sent our link tree. There's ways to support there. Thank you, Laura. All the updated links are there. So yeah, and thank you, Donna, for your support and everything. I'm always got your back. Let me know what you need. But
amazing. Well, we support you, Andy, and thanks for
I literally
popping
have to
on.
go clean SHI. Yes, I literally have to go fix because my plumber is here.
Okay,
because
ew.
we had Florida rain the past couple of days, and my entire showers and toilets went like crazy. And now there's a frog in my toilet. I don't know if can I use my toilet again, Donna?
There's an actual frog? This is why
I
we
haven't
don't
been able to go to the
Florida.
bathroom in my toilet since last night. And I'm like, my wife sat down and there was a frog. Literally, that's like nightmare fuel. Like a frog, because apparently a sewer line busted into the pipe from the front of the house. And so now it's like, that's what happened with a blockage. I think it's a root of a tree and the rain. I'm learning.
I would have a panic that it would jump out while I was sitting.
Exactly. Can you imagine?
Burn it down. Burn the house. It's over.
So I'm not only am I appeal nonsense, I'm prepping the live. Thank God I see Kim in the chat. Thank God to Kim and Michelle.
Hey, Kim. Now he needs a GoFundMe just for a new house because of the frog.
I won't go that far. No. But yes, now of course that's the thing. It's like, now I got to. It adds up. People assume he's got money. Well, I got life. I got to pay for life.
He's got a frog.
Have to not be able to pay for my plumbing problems because Blake Lively subpoenaed me. You know what I mean? It's absolute nonsense. They want me to go broke paying for a subpoena. No, I'm not letting Blake and Ryan do that. I want to be able to maintain and sustain our news gathering.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Love you, Donna.
Andy.
Thank you much. Come on live if you pop in later if you want to pop in and say hi.
I'll see you around.
Always a pleasure.
Guys. Thank you. Stick around, guys.
Keep
Bye,
watching.
Andy.
There's a lot of interesting stuff. Donna's got to break you down through. All right. See you soon.
Awesome. Thanks. Oh, that was sweet of him to stop by. I'm glad he was able to. I feel so bad I felt so bad for everyone that got subpoenaed. I still kind of don't understand how people like Zach and I were able to skate out of that. But someone like Andy to be, I know that Candace Owens was subpoenaed and like some of these big creators, Megyn Kelly. Perez Hilton was always like a very surprising, not surprising, but like kind of an odd journey to watch him go through that and kind of take it on himself. But Andy, I mean, he's become a friend of mine, and now I've met him in person with the documentary. He's a really good guy. And I know watching his experience through, seeing what kind of, I don't want to say hate, but there are people that are just kind of giving him a lot of a hard time on X and stuff, just about like some of the lawyers' decisions. But as he said, they don't have all the information. And I just don't know exactly what, like I said, I'm not a lawyer, so I can't really remark on any of it or give my remarks on it. I can just go through what I know to be that Andy is not a bad person. He seems like a very, very good person. No one is perfect. Everyone in life has made mistakes. I don't believe that Andy has done anything shady in this case. I don't believe that Andy has done anything that she is accusing him of. When I say she, I mean Blake. I don't believe that he has been part of any sort of retaliation smear campaign, because I know that she is completely creating this from thin air. Everything Blake Lively is saying is just, it's like magic. It's like or not magic. It's like a creation. It's like a smoke and mirrors. It's all bullshit. And basically, if someone like ex-patriarch is sitting there and trying to fight for it online, then I know it not to be true. And he hates Andy with his whole being. So that makes me like Andy more. That's the truth. It's just like Kirsty. Exactly. It's just like Kirsty Flaw. Michelle says, what happened to Candace's? They just gave up. It's so interesting. And I don't really like to talk about Candace that much on this show. If you know me, you know. But I truly don't understand exactly what went down there. I really don't understand. She stopped talking about Blake and Ryan because she moved on to, her other investigations that she's gone head deep into. and she just doesn't cover this case at all anymore. And that's okay. Like, fine. Because now she's taken the entire world by, she's completely moved on to bigger things for her show. But I'm so interested to know what ended up happening with that. You would think it never even showed up on a docket. Like, you would have seen it on some sort of a court listener docket, just like Popcorn Planets did, just like Perez Hilton's did, right? It's kind of weird that we never saw anything, but I guess we never saw Megyn Kelly's. Strange. Smart One says it's wild that larger LawTube is not following this case. And it is interesting to me too. A lot of people really dislike this case. A lot of people. So Runkle of the Bailey, Ian, he is, I don't follow him regularly at all. He's more, I think he's someone for people that really like the law. And I like law, but I like it to be explained to me in a very, very interesting, more layman's terms, if that makes sense, which is why I like when I was watching Karen Reed day in and day out, I liked watching The Lawyer That was the way I liked watching it. A lot of people really like Runkle. I loved when he interviewed Karen Reed's attorneys the day after or the week after the jury made their decision. Hello, the verdict. Thank you. I said thank you to myself because none of you guys actually said it. But when he interviewed Yannetti and Alessi after Karen Reed's trial is when I watched my first full episode of Runkle. I'd seen clips of him, but I never actually watched him. But what he said at the beginning of his coverage of Andy, because that was my first time really watching him recently. Let me show you what he said. This is 3 days ago in his episode. And this is how he starts the episode talking about the Baldoni case. And I find this to be kind of very, very, very standard for a lot of the big law tubers. This is how they talk about Justin and Blake.
Hello and welcome to Runkle of the Bailey. My name is Ian Runkle. I'm a Canadian criminal defense and firearms lawyer. So I haven't been covering the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni lawsuit in a little bit, and that's mostly because covering it made me realize that I kind of hate both sides, and really just the way Hollywood seems to work. But
that seems to be a lot of people's take on this case. It seems to be that a lot of lawyers, and of course, we did have those theories months ago, if you remember. We did have those theories that Emily, what's her name? Emily, but it's Emily something, right? What's her name? That she was represented by WME. We thought, oh gosh, well, Ryan Reynolds follows her and she follows Baker. Thank you. That she follows Ryan Reynolds follows her. Maybe that's why she doesn't cover it. And remember, she did go over one of Justin Baldoni's complaints or amended something, and she covered it in a very nasty way towards Justin, and it was very weird. Oh, this is so sweet, Trent. Thank you. He gifted a membership. I appreciate that. And Lori got it. I love that. That is so sweet. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, I mean, the Baldoni and Lively case kind of started right around this Karen Reed time. And I felt like I was like a pig in shit. I remember feeling like this is the best time to be alive. We have the Diddy stuff going on. We have the Karen Reed trial every day. We have all these Baldoni Lively trial updates, but none of my favorite law tubers were ever touching the Baldoni. And when I had Peter Tragos from Lawyer on my show back in, where was it, February, March, when I was up in Mammoth, I don't know, it was like spring break time. And I had him on my show. We were talking about the Karen Reed trial right before the second trial started. And I asked him about Blake and Justin, and he gave it such like a very small little, he's like, yeah, I'm not really touching it. I thought to myself, why? Why are they not touching it? It seems like they were scared to either go against big Hollywood or they were scared to go against a woman who was calling sexual assault or sexual harassment. Or are they going like they don't like Justin's case? They didn't feel like he had a strong enough case, maybe? Something felt off about it. Yet, there's a lot of other cases where a woman says sexual harassment, sexual assault, and many people cover it. Like the Demi case, Demi and Marciano that we talked about yesterday. So many people covered it and talked about it on their shows, on their platforms. Not the case, obviously. It hasn't gone to trial or anything, but so many people covered it happily and it was like no issue. So what do you think that is? I'm confused by it, you guys. Does Justin Baldoni have a very, I'm just asking questions, okay? Just like Candace Owens. Does Justin Baldoni does he leave a bad taste in people's mouth on these other people's, like in these other worlds? I wonder about that. Curious. Very curious. Now, I wish Judge Lyman would just get traded out. Why can't they give these criminal cases to another judge? That's what I want to know. I want to know is there a reason that Judge Lyman is the only judge that has to cover all of these cases? Can't they give him to someone like, is there only one judge in New York? He gets both these criminal cases that take precedence over this case that he has to push the trial 2 more months? Something feels off. Something feels strange. I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. Now, that is the update with Blake and Justin and all of that. Federal judges all have criminal and civil cases. Thank you, Katie. I don't know a lot about the legal system, but does this happen all the time where civil cases just get pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed? It probably does. It probably does. Okay, let's move on to another story. I think it's time. I just want to remind you guys that one of my sponsors for this week is Jam Family Calendar. And this is a very special one for me because it is owned by an actual friend of mine, a real life friend. And as we're coming up into the holiday season where it's so busy, and then of course it's the new year. And if you have a big family, especially, or if you just have a very packed schedule and a lot of chaos between work, kids' schedules, a partner who travels a lot, anything like that, to-do lists, etc., Jam Calendar helps lighten the mental load. It keeps everyone in sync without you being the default project manager at home. It combines shared calendars. It's AI powered. It has to-do lists, reminders all in one app. You can tag who is going, who is driving, what you need to bring. There's secret shopping lists. It's perfect for holiday shopping time. You can connect Google, Apple, and Outlook calendars, sports calendars, school calendars, and everything stays perfectly in sync. But the Jam On It Assistant feature allows you to forward emails like the mile-long school newsletter to Jam, and if you know, every week I get a newsletter every Friday from the school. I just forward it to Jam and it inputs everything right into the calendar. I don't have to like specifically put everything in. It's freaking amazing. It's simple enough for kids and grandparents to use, smart enough to manage everything from soccer practice to date night. This time of year when schedule explodes with school, sports, holidays, and travel, Jam is the only reason my family stays sane. And you guys can get yourself a free month and 40% off with code DOSERS at jamfamilycalendar.com. So that is jamfamilycalendar.com. You get 40% off your entire purchase and a full free month to try it. Try it out. It's my friend Jess is the owner with her sister. They developed it. It's an amazing, amazing, amazing company. Okay. Let's move on to another story. So last week I talked about this Love is Blind divorce between Alexa and Brendan. Brendan. Remember, he was the one, this is season 3. He was the one that had the hat the cowboy hat. And she was a little bit of like the bougie girl. I don't know if you guys remember this. They had a baby. Her name is Alexa Lemieux. Lemieux. Okay. And she what was crazy is that I just saw, it's so funny. I just saw on my For You page on Instagram. Oh, I have some breaking news for you guys in just a second. I just saw this her I'm going to pull it up for you guys. Her Instagram post that like showed up in my you know how they like in your For You page, like old posts come and like show up, and it's old posts of her and her daughter like going through life. And basically it was a video of her and her little baby trying to get her husband's attention while he's watching football. And someone was like, "Oh, now I get why you guys got divorced." Now, I think it's kind of like a joke video, because if you guys remember, this is her. And just to give you an idea, this is the two of them when they went to, I guess, Disneyland 5 weeks ago. This is October 31st. Okay. They seemed pretty happy. Everything is fine. I mean, they had this little adorable girl. They seemed very sweet. Everything seemed fine. Okay. And then, of course, it didn't work out. Now, people are wondering what is going on because it happened so fast. And now they're saying that it's because she is denying all of the allegations in his divorce petition. He filed for divorce, is the story. And this is a picture of them a little closer up. Everyone was like, it doesn't make any sense. They were married for 4 years before going their separate ways. What do you guys think was the actual reason for their divorce? I'm curious. What do you guys think it was before I tell you? He says, after much reflection, she said, after much reflection and many heartfelt conversations, we have made the difficult decision to end our marriage, blah, blah, blah. She did the entire suite, like, please give us, whatever. He filed to dissolve their marriage on November 5th. He claimed in court documents that they had a conflict of personalities. He said the marriage has become insupportable because of discord or conflict of personalities that destroys the legitimate ends of the marriage relationship and prevents any reasonable expectation of reconciliation. She filed a response to his motion denying all of his claims. She also requested a disproportionate share of the pair's estate, citing a fault in the breakup of the marriage. So, in his petition, he hoped that he and Alexa could enter into a written agreement regarding custody and financial support of daughter Vienna. He said that he's hoping for that the court make orders of, a normal kind of back and forth agreement, a written agreement of the kids together, or of the daughter together. They do not have a prenup. She said, we never got a prenup. I think big mistake at this point now, because now they're fighting over assets and who gets more. She said that she asked that the court split up their estate, but also requested, like I said, a disproportionate share of the estate. She believes she is owed more for the following reasons: for the fault in the breakup of the marriage, need for future support, wasting of community assets by the spouse, and the need for attorney fees. She also asked that the separate property be confirmed as her sole property. Alexa makes more money than Brennan and wants to retain her earnings. What do you think happened between these two? I'm dying to know what your guys' thoughts are. If you watch Love is Blind, let's see. Did they get married too quickly? Her family is narcissistic. I want to know from you guys what you think. It's an interesting thing when two people are so happy in their Instagrams and then all of a sudden break up. I'm going to say this. Never be happy on Instagram. I think it's the kiss of death. Maybe I should not break up with Lance. Maybe I should never show love towards Lance. Did you guys see my TikTok the other day about Lance? Let me show you. I'm going to show you the closest. Actually, this was what Zach made me do. Zach said, "You got to post this." I can't play the music because he said this was a trend. So Lance and I met in 2008. When did you guys meet with your spouses? Look at that, 2008. Look at Lance. I want everyone to look at Lance in 2008. It's the new vow renewal. When you're nice to your partner online, it's a sign that things are going to end. So this is Lance and I when we first met. First picture. And then I can't go to the next picture. It's a sign. Why? It's not letting me show you the next picture. Our marriage is over. Okay, good. Well, is that interesting to you guys to hear about Love is Blind? I thought it was kind of boring too. 1993. Billy says still looks hot. Jesus, Billy. You know Billy? Thank you very much. Yes, he's a very good looking guy. Okay. Next story. Meghan Markle. I thought this was kind of. Did you guys watch the Christmas special? If I never see Meghan Markle again on my TV, it's too soon. Is there one person in the world that's like I can't wait to sit down tonight with a glass of wine and watch Meghan Markle's holiday special in a serious way? There is not one person, right? This is like a joke. No one watches Meghan Markle for real, right? There's no one. I think it's all a joke now. Now, Meghan Markle is so, she's got to be just like a done. She's done and done. Now, there is there's a store called Kitson in Los Angeles, which is, it's on Robertson. If you know it, it's been around for a long time. And it's a very, it used to be like a very trendy store. It's definitely not a trendy LA store, but it's been around forever. And it definitely has like a very controversial past, Kitson. How can I explain what Kitson is like? It delves into like some political stuff. It gets into like, I don't know. It's definitely anti Gavin Newsom. Like it does a lot of political stuff. But anyway, this article says that Meghan Markle was dubbed a holiday hypocrite. And it says award season is fast approaching in Hollywood, but Meghan Markle has already been given a gong that she may not be keen on. The Duchess of Sussex has been named a villain of the year by an LA boutique whose owners have also branded her a Montecito diva. Meghan is featured in a rogues gallery of holiday hypocrites as part of a scathing Christmas window display at a high-end department store, Kitson. I'll show you guys the picture. Hold on. It's so funny. I mean, I think if I was Meghan Markle, what would you do if you were Meghan Markle? This is a good question. If you were Meghan Markle right now and like you really wanted to, it somehow fix your, fix your personality, fix your likability. It's like Blake Lively. What would you do? What would you do? So this is on the window. It's just a big picture of Meghan Markle and all of her New York Post, Daily Mail, The Sun, all of her different Page Six, all of her headlines. And the article continues to say, the trendy shop on Robertson Boulevard has named Meghan as one of 2025's villains, along with California Governor Gavin Newsom, George Clooney, I told you I'm not a fan. And Katy Perry. Kitson's so-called holiday hypocrisy window display has become famous in LA since it began in 2020. This year, Meghan makes the list, and she is featured in a mocked-up magazine cover where she and other public figures are made to look silly in Santa hats. The Duchess hat has Montecito Diva on it. Her cover features headlines where she and Harry were branded the most unpopular kids in school because they are disliked by Americans. Another is about how Meghan's As Ever jam is made in a factory 2,000 miles from her home in California. And another claiming she flouted a no dogs rule at a Montecito farmer's market by bringing a pet. There was also a nod to a recent Harper's Bazaar feature revealing how she was announced like royalty to a room with one person in it. Most recently, her decision to wear $82,000 of jewelry on her Netflix holiday special is also cited, and there's a disparaging headline claiming Meghan is a hypocrite because she won't let go of her royal status. But of course, there's also Katy Perry. Do you see this? With Katy Perry and all of her headlines, how she's struggling to sell tickets after her disastrous rocket launch. How her space flight was one giant flop for mankind. And then there's, of course, George Clooney. Why did they go after George Clooney specifically, I wonder? Let's see what it says in the article. Does it say? It doesn't say anything specifically about why. Oh, something about how he boycotting the Beverly Hills Hotel. Then, of course, Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass about their treatment of the LA fires, the worst year ever for these two. Don't get me started. Team Harry and Meghan. They have team white and black shirts. Team Harry and Meghan, Team William and Kate. Who's going to buy a Team Harry and Meghan? Kitson owner Fraser Ross said Team William and Kate outsold Harry and Meghan 2-1. And these are the old school in 2005 when Paris and Nikki left the store wearing Team Jolie and Team Aniston shirts. This is like old school Hollywood. I loved it. Oh my God, it's so funny. Blake should be on that window. Why can't we get Blake on that window? I'm going to go in and just slam Blake's picture up on that window. Who is obsessed with talking about Andy Signore in jail? Let's move on from that. He's not going to jail. It's such a joke. So I told you today's episode was going to be all over the place. Let's see what else we can. Oh, here was the breaking news that I was just about to tell you about Wendy Williams. This is kind of cool. Wendy Williams is going to be out of guardianship. I just saw it. Hold. I just saw it on TMZ. Let me find it. Oh my God, TMZ just posts like crazy. Wendy Williams conservatorship could be terminated before the end of the year, you guys. Are you excited about that for Wendy, or are you worried about that for Wendy? Listen, after seeing what's going on with Britney, I'm a little concerned. I'm not going to lie. I'm not saying that Wendy is Britney, but can we all agree that Britney is not well outside of her conservatorship? I think we all, at least here on Daily Dose, can agree that it probably was not the best move. Now, I think Wendy hopefully is in a better place than Britney, but let's hope that Wendy's in a better place. It says Wendy Williams' lawyer, Joe Tacopina, claimed that the former TV host will be out of her conservatorship by the end of the year. Wendy does not have frontotemporal dementia, so that she should be game, set, match. He said in an interview with ABC's Nightline, the plan is this. There are guardianship attorneys and we're watching and waiting. And they assured Wendy by year's end, she'll be out of guardianship. As Page 6 previously reported, a top neurologist determined that the former Wendy Williams show does not have frontotemporal dementia 2 years after she was diagnosed with a brain disease. Listen, I am all about this, and that's great. But did anyone else watch the documentary with me? Like, we watched the documentary together, right? Did we watch that? Because when I watched the documentary with Wendy Williams, she did not seem okay. Now, I don't know. Thank you, Trent. Yay, Wendy. Brittany is not free, by the way. She's under a sealed care plan. I don't know what that means. You let me know, Trent. Billy says, thrilled for Wendy. Wendy will take her medicine, unlike Brittany. Let's hope. I watched that Wendy documentary on, I can't remember where it was, where I watched it. Paramount, Hulu, I can't remember now. That was not a good representation of health, what I watched with Wendy on that show. I'm sorry. I am sorry. And if you guys believe that was healthy. Now, yes, I believe there was a lot of alcohol being drank in that documentary. I think she was incredibly under the influence. But who's going to stop her from doing that now? That's what I'm concerned about. And so I need to know, is she going to be handled in a good way? Is she going to be under good care? And that's what is concerning. So I would love to see that she is going to come out of her conservatorship and be healthy and well. So let's find that out. Let's find that out. But if that works out, I think that would be phenomenal and great for her. I think that would be a wonderful, wonderful update for her. And is there any, failed attempt, another Meghan Markle story about her dad. I can't even. Any other updates? I think that's pretty much it for today. There's always going to be little stories, but let's call it for the moment. You guys, what a day. What a day to be alive. Thank you so much for subscribing and liking the show, for watching my Maureen Callahan episode last night. That was a really fun extra episode, a bonus episode. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you guys tomorrow on a Wednesday hump day episode of Daily Dose of Donna. Bye.